Likes it. Guys, moving into the other big piece to the week in terms of news is something that we were talking about last week. I feel like every week so much happens between the last time we see each other and now in terms of Disney and in terms of the world. There's so much going on. The biggest news is something that we were talking about last week when the announcement came around that your hourly cast members, your hourly employees for Disney were going to be paid through April the 18th, and that was going to be extended from the original 2 weeks to out until April 18th. And now the question that we were asking last week is answered, and that was what's going to happen to the salaried individuals, because it only explicitly wrote out in their announcement from Disney that hourly was going to be taken care of. Well, not just salaried, but now hourly non-union cast members, it has been announced, will be furloughed after April 18th. And that is really hard news to take. Tens of thousands of people are affected by this. The company is not acknowledging how many people. They're not giving specifics when it comes to that, but tens of thousands, because it's considered non-essential employees are being furloughed. That's most of the theme parks. That's your theme park frontline employees. So tens of thousands of cast members are sort of in this boat, including the salaried individuals, all being sort of given the extension of medical benefits, which is fantastic. I mean, that's a really nice nod to still keeping certain things online for them. But we had talked, Tyler, originally about this, and the question really was, how much longer is this going to last, that they're going to get paid to really sit at home and wait this thing out? Now we have our answer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel we have some friends that work at the parks, and I feel horrible for them, and my heart goes out to them. It's obviously a really tough time for every single person on this planet, which, we don't normally see. We never share something with the entire planet. Now we're all in the same boat. It's just really heartbreaking, but we can't pretend it wasn't going to happen. And it's just a shame that it had to. The company needs to keep itself in a position where it will still be a superpower. That's really a main goal of theirs, and that kind of has to happen, because while it may be a short-term loss, it really is for the gain of the company and for the people that they can hire back afterwards. So.
Right, and a furlough certainly means you're just being placed on hold for a while. I mean, these
Sure.
folks haven't been completely laid off, which is great news, but still without a paycheck, as many of the hourly cast members do live paycheck to paycheck. Received some feedback from some salaried individuals that happen to be very close to, all very upset. Some more than others when it comes to feeling, even one used the word abandoned by the company. I get the frustration. I completely understand it. Somebody had reached out and said, I drank the Kool-Aid. I've lived and died by this organization. I even was told as one of my last acts before I get furloughed that I have to call my employees and tell them that they are being furloughed, and then I get furloughed. Nobody expected to be in this situation a month ago. Nobody anticipated being furloughed, laid off, sent home, and so many organizations are dealing with this. Katrina, when it comes to knowing that tens of thousands of cast members, both salaried and hourly, are being furloughed after April 18th, what comes to mind when you think about, a rebound effect for Disney parks? I mean, you think a lot of these cast members are going to stick around and wait it out?
God, I hope so. I'm getting really sad thinking about it. We have friends that are cast members, and I know a lot of things are going around on Facebook of, just posting pictures of their, of what they do there without saying anything. And I really hope that means that, Disney's in their hearts and they love it so much that I really do hope that they come back to share and spread joy to everybody that comes to Disney. And I, really hope that Disney, this solves itself with the whole virus thing, so Disney can open it back up and everybody can get their jobs back. But I really, really hope that they come back, because the people that we know, they have so much love and joy that they love to give and share memorable moments and make magical moments for guests, and that's what they love to do. And I love to see these stories, and I just hope that they come back so they can do it more.
Yeah, I think the issue is that if they don't do something like this, there's a great possibility that the company may not be able to support as many people in the future,
Sure.
or for the same amount of pay in the future. So again, this is like what they have to do for the short term to make sure that the long term is still available. And that isn't just for them. It will also help their current cast members, because if they don't have a place to go after this is all over, then that's going to be worse than just being furloughed for the time being, in my opinion.
I do have something else to add, though. I am glad that I know they can't pay them, after mid-April, but at least they are getting their health care taken care of. And I think that's really important for, especially right now. And if they cut that off, I think that would be horrible to the cast members. So I am happy that they did that, but I do understand by a business point that they had to do this. But I really hope that these cast members come back, because they are just all amazing people.
Absolutely. And Garrett, we spoke many weeks ago when the Disney college program out in Walt Disney World, along with Disneyland, but the college program is such a huge segment of the employee population in Florida. 2,000, 3,000 cast members are made up of the college program out there. And we talked many moons ago about how this was probably going to play out where they're just the first to go, and then you were going to see more and more continue to be let go or furloughed. I know that Walt Disney World is, such a big place, and there's certainly a lot of questions about when the parks do come back eventually, what things are going to be like from a service perspective, what things are going to be like even from maybe a phased opening perspective. When you think about the amount of cast members that were lost just in the college program alone, and now hearing that hourly non-union cast members are being let go in furlough, and then on top of it, it sounds like there's a union deal being worked out right now for all of the unionized cast members that they may also go after April 18th into a furlough sort of holding pattern. When you think about all of this, how do you assume the dynamic is going to change in Florida? Because they rely so heavily on the college program cast members out in Walt Disney World to really sustain all of their positions, because the place is huge, right? They need, thousands of these temporary, college program cast members to really sustain all their operations. How much do you think is going to change when they do come rallying back?
That's a fantastic question. Just from the cast members that I do know that are close friends, and those that and me being myself, being a part of it, when the parks reopen, it's like what I said last week, how they're going to run with a skeleton crew for a while. They're going to have very limited hours, using only the essential needs. Entertainment is going to be pretty much shot. For the most part, I could imagine little to no entertainment, to be honest, like maybe having the essentials such as Mickey and the gang and a few princesses, but you're not going to be having the parades. You're not going to be having fireworks every night. And when it comes to the college program, I would honestly try and bring those guys back first, because they were the cheapest labor you could get. They were non-union, and essentially Disney made so much money back from them, because I remember whenever I got my paycheck on Thursday, where do you go? You go to the park and you spend that paycheck back in Disney, because that's the only place to go. So it really is tough. The best analogy I can think of with this is that the ship is going down and you have to lighten the load, and you have to lighten it, and it hurts. You don't want to. No one ever wants to be furloughed. No one's ever like, man, we can't wait to lay people off. But
right,
that's how it's going. I think of the movie Interstellar. I'm sorry, it's not a Disney film, but how they're going into the black hole, and how in order to get out of it, you have to drop weight to escape it. And so right now, Disney's trying to drop who they can. Like, you don't need a F&B manager because there's no restaurant open. Security and maybe engineering and custodial, those are the only roles you essentially need, other than probably CEOs, presidents, and executives.
And we want to mention many of them also have taken pay cuts, in this whole sort of restructuring of how things are going to be weighted out. So you do see a lot of VPs, executive VPs, senior VPs, all taking additional pay cuts on top of, obviously, Bob Iger foregoing his entire salary, and then Bob Chapek, the new CEO, giving up half of his. So, there's a lot changing very quickly. We do want to acknowledge that most of the executives are taking pay cuts as well. So it's being felt across the board.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.